I'm back already. I know I just made a video actually a little bit earlier today, but I wanted to do another one. This one I wanted to make about the four types of MS, just explaining what the four types of MS are. Um, I've seen fellow MSers that actually don't know, and I think this is something that would be good for family and friends of people with MS to know the different types also. So here are the four types. The first one is relapsing remitting. 85% of people that are diagnosed with MS, this is the type that they are diagnosed with. What relapsing remitting is where you have relapses followed by times of remission. A relapse is when you have new symptoms or worsening of old symptoms for 24 hours or longer. These relapses can last for days, weeks, or months, and then they are followed by the remission time. The remission time is when your symptoms have improved or gone away completely, and there's a clear-cut definition, not definition, I'm sorry. There's a clear, what's the right word? Basically, you know when you're in a relapse, and you know when you're out and you're in the remission. So there's the relapse, remission, relapse, remission, relapse, remission. So that's relapsing remitting. You're still the disease is still progressing, but you're having the relapses remitting to sometimes back to normal. Sometimes you hold on to some of the symptoms, and then that's how that goes. The next one is secondary progressive. Secondary progressive is what comes after relapsing remitting. 80 to 90% of people with relapsing remitting will end up with secondary progressive. That number is lowering with the new DMDs, which is disease-modifying drugs that we have for multiple sclerosis now, which is a good thing. What secondary progressive is where you may be having the relapses still, but you're no longer having the periods of remission. So you may or may not be having the relapses, but you don't have that clear times of improvement any longer, and the disease is progressing. That doesn't mean the disease is progressing more quickly. It just means that you're no longer having the periods of remission. So that is what secondary progressive is. Then there is primary progressive. Primary progressive is when you are diagnosed with, from the beginning, it is no relapses, no remitting, no remissions. It's just a steady decline of neurological function from the beginning. You still may have plateaus. You still have better days than other days, just like all MSers with that form, that type. But you don't have the relapses followed by remission and that kind of thing. That's primary progressive. Then there's also relapsing progressive MS. Relapsing progressive MS is the most rare form. That's the form, it's almost like secondary progressive, only you are diagnosed with that from the beginning. So you have the relapses, but there is no remission period, and it's progressive, just like the secondary progressive. I don't want this to get confused because all MS is progressive. But the thing with relapsing remitting is that you have that clear-cut time of remission. With the other forms, you don't have that clear time of remission. So that's what relapsing progressive MS is. You have the relapses, followed by steady decline of neurological function, relapse, still a decline, no time of remission at all in there, and that's what you're diagnosed with from the beginning, unlike secondary progressive, which only comes after being diagnosed with relapsing remitting. Secondary is only after being diagnosed with relapsing remitting. So that's just kind of what the four types are in a nutshell. There's obviously more to it. Obviously, it's not that clear cut. There's a lot more that goes into that. But that's kind of in a general term, just to kind of like give everyone an idea of what they are, what the types are, and so everyone has a clue of, what kind you have. And so that everyone knows that what these diseases are, and when somebody says, I have relapsing remitting MS, maybe, now you'll have an idea of what that is. Or if somebody says, I have primary progressive, now you know what that is. I think that's important to know what each one is. Each one of those also comes and affects each person in mild, moderate to severe. Depending on whether yours is mild, moderate to severe, depends on your symptoms, or how often you're going to have your relapses from it. So that all has to do with your individual body. MS is a snowflake disease. No two cases are the same. As I've said in my other videos, I have an identical twin sister who has multiple sclerosis. My mother has multiple sclerosis. All three of us have relapsing remitting. None of us are the same. Not even my twin. We are not, no two cases are alike whatsoever. So even when we're boxed in these groups, we're still not the same. But it gives us an idea. And it lets you know where your disease is in the course of the disease. So it is important. It is part of the education. It is part of awareness. So I just wanted to let everybody know what the diseases are, I'm sorry, not the diseases, but what the 4 types are, and put a little bit more awareness out there on that. If you guys want to go over to my Facebook page, MS Awareness Videos, and like that, I put all my videos on there. I also have a YouTube channel if anybody's like into the YouTube thing. I don't know, I'm kind of YouTube dumb, but I think it's just under my name, Heather Leffel, but it's on there, whatever. Anyway, if you guys want to share my videos, I appreciate it. Get as much awareness out there as you can. That's what we need to get the ball rolling and make our voice be heard. So we're Orange on MS Mondays, and have a great weekend. Thanks, guys.